the intro
Wait.
video.
Okay, guys, we are back on camera. Good evening to all. Good afternoon to all of you, and we are now back to give you the action of the day. My name is OSX, and we are back for another set of heated up matches. But this time around, it's the Holy Angel University versus Philippine Normal University SULO. All right.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty exciting set of matches. For me personally, these
Mm-hmm.
guys are probably one of the best teams. Like they're up there, when it comes to skill level for the University Alliance Cup. So I'm really excited to see how things are gonna go when we with these players, with these teams. For those of you who don't know, Valiant Winx,
Oh
a lot of
yes.
there's three of these players that are on the Winx Esports amateur team. And as for PNU Sulo, I do believe that their players also grind out the amateur scene as well. So I'm really excited to see that clash, that within the UAC and see how that turns out and how that performs, today.
Right, as they have mentioned, HAU grew to be a giant in the campus esports field, rapidly gaining awards and championships from the most recent splits. But meanwhile, for PNU, Sulo, they're still starting out to build their organization and teams further. Actually, in the game of League of Legends Wild Rift, potentials coming in from new breeds, new set of squads and new breed players are really a good way of exposing them in terms of competitive play. You have the C icon CS right now, Neep, and this is the great way for these squads to be exposed in a pro play scene.
Yeah, for sure. Great exposure there. And here's another opportunity for exposure. And if you guys want to, further push that exposure, further show your support and show that the team is loved, make sure you guys vote, exclamation mark vote in the Twitch chat. Vote for your favorite team. Drop a shout out if you guys like, support your school as we get started with this pick and ban. And I see very standard drafts, very standard pick and ban across the
Oh
board.
yes.
Yeah, Diana, Ziggs, Garen, Camille. That's pretty normal stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
this does leave Fiora. Like we talked about this in game one, right? You ban the Garen, that means Fiora is an option. There's not really much to deal with the
Oh,
Fiora. But
okay.
instead, they're gonna go for that priority pick on Gragas, which does make
Oh,
sense.
yes.
Okay, but that gives the Fiora to the other team. So now PNU has the Fiora.
Right. You need to have that burst of power being taken for the first priority pick of PNU. But for
Yeah,
Gragas, one of the most good champions in Wild Rift is to get your set destroyed by the explosive cast. But if you funnel it out properly for Fiora, you will have the power of burst and as well as dashes using the rotation in terms of the unique composition of your squad. For the second and third pick of the Valiant Winx, you have Arcanas next and
ooh,
as well as
Ari.
Sparky.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
okay.
What do you think of
So
that?
pretty interesting pick. It's not
Mm-hmm.
exactly the most common pick,
Mm-hmm.
but Ari, I guess, is okay. She's not terrible. And I guess that's something that maybe PNU wants to go for, playing for something more on a comfort level. And
Yes.
ooh, okay, so now we have a Yasuo as well. So a bit of a Yasuo Wombo combo being set up for the side of
Ooh, the
yeah.
classic. You will see the classic combo of Yasuo again. But because you see this in League of Legends gameplays, like you get take Yasuo, either take Malphite or you take Alistar maybe to get your combo with the last breath. And looking at this point, you have Aryan as well for the fifth pick Lee Sin, which gives them an advantage in the early game, as well as the objective taking in the side of PNU.
Yeah, so the draft is now complete. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like Holy Angel University, they've got a pretty clear idea of how they want to play
Oh
this.
yes.
What's interesting is that this is going to be the Gragas jungle, and it's actually going to be a Yasuo top lane
Mm.
yeah, against the in the Baron lane against the Fiora. So Yasuo versus Fiora is a matchup I'm not too familiar with, but if I had to make a guess, I do think that it's really in favor of the Fiora. So the concern is with this Valiant Wing squad is who's gonna deal with the Fiora in the later stages of the game? Who's gonna be the one to match
Mm-hmm.
the Fiora, and then while at the same time still being relevant when it comes to those 5v5 team fights? Cause
If okay,
yeah,
yeah.
cause I mean like the Yasuo just ends up losing that 1v1 for the for the most part. The Gragas doesn't really do much against the Fiora 1v1. The
Mm-hmm.
Oriana as well, the Corki as well. So that's an interesting situation that Valiance kind of needs to find an answer for
Mm-hmm.
internally. And as for the side of PNU, they've got a lot going. That's they've got a great early game jungler, the Lee Sin. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be much faster than this Gragas clear. So expect the early game to be in favor of the Lee Sin. Expect those scuttle crabs to fall
Oh
to the
yes.
side of PNU, and to the side of PNU. And if we take a look at the votes, it looks like the fans agree. 57% to the 43% of the Holy Angel University.
PNU having stacked up with Burst and as well as Kaiser, one of the favorite champion picks in Wild Rift. And looking at the Sea Icon series, this girl is your best ADC. But for the pick of Anito as Fiora and Yasuo as Cool, if we're going to the stand-up going against strong champion Wiki, I think Yasuo and Fiora would be a great duel on the top
Yeah.
lane. Would you agree?
For sure. I definitely agree. And shout out to Kima. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
Oh
I
yes.
believe Kima is he's actually on the Valorant squad of the Holy Angel University, I think previously. And he was also shoutcasting earlier yesterday for our Division B match on that Valiant HAU page. So, glad you're watching the stream right now. Glad you're supporting your organization, and hopefully they don't give you up, and hopefully they don't let you down this game.
Oh, you gotta sing that. You're gonna dance that this time around in League of Legends Wild Rift. You need to keep supporting your squad this time because it's a battle of campuses to hold and raise that campus torch. You mean 100,000 peso prize pool? Come on, League of Legends Wild Rift. Battle of the campuses happening now in ROG University Alliance Cup. It's the sizzling heat that they can set up in this group stage. Week 1 and day 1. I got my first prediction out. I think Neep wins the first match of
Yeah.
the day, and this
Who'd you
time
vote for
around,
this game? Yeah,
oh,
who'd you vote?
for this game, well, let me check. And for my second prediction, I'm going for Winx, the Valiant Winx this time. And for the composition that they showed up, I don't know how will they express this unique composition because in Wild Rift, you still cannot underestimate different uses of champions because you can, all of them has totally complete surprises up in their sleeve that we cannot be aware of. So you might see a different champion. Why use this? Why use that? Oh, we have a different way of mixing this up. Maybe you're like Professor X and mixing some chemical reaction and different kind of change to win that victory. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And again, guys, this tournament is presented by ASUS Republic of Gamers, powered by the reigning king of gaming smartphones, the
Ooh,
ROG Phone 5, with the
yes.
Qualcomm Snapdragon 88888 processor, a 144 hertz AMOLED display, and a massive 6,000 milliampere battery. Take your gaming experience to the next level with that hashtag for those who dare. Available at your nearest ASUS and ROG accredited stores nationwide. So you can check that out at rog.acadarena.com.
Yes, 6,000 milliamperes of battery, Neep. Can you
Yeah,
imagine how many Wild Rift games can you play in a day and using that phone? No FPS drops, only pure action. And using the 888 Qualcomm Snapdragon, one of the newest, processors out there. And while we are trying to give you the best game experience, you also need to have the best phone ultimate gaming phone experience brought to you by ROG. So again, shout out to our sponsors for making this all possible, and we now head to our game. And this is the battle of the Valiant Winx and PNU Solo. This time for our second match of the day.
yeah. So it looks like it's not going to be anything too fancy starting off this game. I guess what is interesting to note is that the Lee Sin did opt to start for his red buff. So that means he will be going for that 4v4 in that bot lane for the first Scuttle Crab, whereas Gragas is going to be looking to handshake that and path his way towards that top side and get the other Scuttle Crab that's going to pop up at 125.
Oh, having the Lee Sin as an advantage on your side with that early taking of the buffs and as control to Scuttle, will it be worth the risk, or will you have the chance of having control of the rivers and as well as coming in from the top and the bottom side of this map? As they're trying to focus this in, we have no invasions or what, so they're still
Yeah.
focusing maybe on their primary taking of minion waves as well.
And
Lee Sin, right? On the other hand, they might Lee Sin versus Gragas. What do you think?
Lee Sin versus Gragas, Lee Sin is much faster than
Mm-hmm.
Gragas at this stage of the game. So he does have a bit of that priority. Like he's
Oh
already
yes.
dancing around mid lane. Actually gonna look for the invade in that topside jungle. The Braum rotated all the way in as well. So they
Ooh.
really just want to deny this Gragas. And with the Yasuo also being at half HP, this does set up a really big opportunity for SULO to just come in and take what they want really.
Oh, for this stage, Neep, I'm seeing they're trying to take the control of the rivers, and this time maybe for a steal, while Kome is getting this blue sentinel, they're trying to have it in. Oh, the Sonic Wave, will it pop? Oh, for the quickness and entrance, you have knocked up, and for that, Chant Milan with chicken wings going for the combo of unlimited goodness. Oh, another team gets down! Oh, taken in from Kells. And then another one gets in for the chicken one wings for that retreat. That was an early advantage for the take of that steal of the blue sentinel because that ward totally gave them vision.
Yeah, and that was a really great early game coming in from SULO. They got 2 kills immediately right off the bat, and that's really how you want your games to look like when you're playing Lee Sin. So well played there. They have the Braum, they have the Lee Sin, so overall their early game skirmishing is just going to be a lot more better, and that clearly showed during that blue buff team fight.
Yes, and having it with Lee Sin, this was the part that we are talking about, the steals. Lee Sin is totally up for that unless you have a different way of executing full vision of your map. Looking at this control, all of the squads coming in
Ooh,
from
four
Solar
members
trying to
bottom.
4 members. Is this the 4v2? Having a crush in the Kome with the dash and the quickness of Gun S for safety. Oh, not gonna get in for the Sonic Wave and the charm for the perfect retreat and safety. They knew something's gonna come up in that clash, Neep.
Yeah, and I mean, PNU are just playing so aggressive right now in the early stages of the game. They're keeping Valiant Winx on their toes. They're not giving them any time to rest.
No.
Immediately after going for the invade, they immediately go for that 4-man dive in that bottom lane. They burned the flash from the Corki, and that's going to be really huge as the Dragon is going to spawn in 30 seconds. Both of these teams are doing as much as they can to make sure they have the gold, they have that advantage to take that early dragon. The Cloud Drake in that early game does add up over the time. The 6% movement speed is something you can't sleep on.
No, no, you don't. And this might be an advantage with or in the side who takes this Drake. But for our advance of probably of 9 seconds, they might show another way of re-strategizing a different path of taking some kills. But for 0 to 2, at this point in time, we have Fiora just building up the probably primary items and as well as Oriana in the mid trying to get control of maybe the probably the burst of damage from coming in from a mage
Yeah.
in the mid lane. And for this, Sulo is trying to prey on this Drake, and as well as for this, Sheena is trying to make his way to have this control with Sonic Wave just poking around in the side of this one while the Dragon is gonna get in for the chance. Oh, Shockwave not gonna get in for that set, but for another kill goes in. 4 hours for the side of Solo while they're taking it. This blue team tries to secure this Cloud Drake, and nobody has to contest that. They have it on the side. That was Yasuo, and for the take, the Sonic Wave goes in for this. They keep the games are flowing, and this time around, Flacco is on borrowed time. Mason with a double kill again, falling the side of Anito is still in big trouble. Roshino the Antis keeps on blasting them around, and not knowing this, that was a 2 versus 1. And for that trade, it was not worth it. You have Sulo taking that sweep.
Yeah, and what a crazy team fight coming in from Sulo. They know they got the pick earlier onto the Oriana, so it's a 4v4. They're not afraid. They see the Fiora is just constantly pushing in that top side, and even though they gave up the dragon, they won that team fight. They got the first tower, and ultimately that just falls in much stronger favor towards Sulo, as that's gonna be a 4,000 gold lead, 5,000 just 5 minutes into the game already.
Right, and looking at this point, they were having the control of the Dragon Pit. There were no contester whatsoever. It has been on their side. The wind, Cool is literally feeling the wind and having it transported in that pit as they try to have this on the side by clearing up some minion waves or having it with a full defense. They might probably think of a better way to secure this. But for the items, Neep, what do you think? Where will they get this through with the 10-minute mark?
Yeah, so with these items, everyone's building pretty standard. There isn't anything weird going on. We do see another tower being taken by the Fiora, and this goes back to what I was saying about who's gonna deal with the Fiora come 10 minutes. The Fiora already has a 1,000 gold lead above this Yasuo. Yasuo is in no position to 1v1 this Fiora, and this 4v4 squad of the remaining SULO team is just pretty oppressive at the moment. And now we do see that these teams are eyeing this Rift Herald. Even Fiora rotated all the way up, so they might be looking to just go for a full 5v5 fight because they feel confident. It's 1-7. They probably don't know that they're 6,000 gold ahead, but they should at least get that rough idea that, you know, they're in a position where they can set the pace, they can set the tone of all of this.
Correct. The pace, the tone, the setting, they have all the skills for disruption as well as disengage. They invade, the backfire, you know. Looking at the possibility of chances of building the items. You have your building Triforce, and probably she will go for the burst, maybe the cleaver, or maybe the Blade of the Ruined King for safety. But for
Yeah.
Lee Sin, prioritize Yomu's, which gives an advantage to get his Sonic Waves out and much more faster punches and kicks. And this time around, they try to have it inside, while they're having in Flacco, having securing that Rift Herald, being fast as it is, and that is an explosive cast being exploited to save, but not getting in to that shockwave. Nobody got in that hit. And that moment gave them a chance. While the kicks are in, you have Shino just waiting for this opportunity to dive in, but that was a back out. Ari is out, Milen is totally out for that equation, but for that, look at the damage from Shino. It's still not going to be enough for them for getting safety, but the set Kaiser is probably preying on the fastest way to get them on a proper advantage. But for the life being torn down in the side of Holy Angel, they might trying to regroup and reset for their another chance.
So I mean, it's good. Like, it's actually really important getting those kills when you're behind, because while the gold remains the same, like you're still getting 300 gold. You know, no matter like what stage of the game you get the kill. One of the interesting things about Wild Rift is that the amount of XP you get per kill actually increases, you know, depending on how big of an advantage there is on that enemy side. So, you know, getting that kill onto, I believe it was the Braum, actually is a lot bigger than it seems, even though the gold lead is still 5,000. Even though they did lose that Rift Herald, it's those small things that you kind of need to keep looking for in order to stay relevant in this game if Valiant Winx wants to eventually win and make a comeback from this huge deficit that they have right now compared to PNU SULO.
Oh, they're trying to trick the Drake this time. It's alive and it's kicking. Who will it be? Another set of kills, but this time knockback out.
The steal.
No, the steal out in downtown. Taking that on the side of Valiant Winx. Oh, you get that explosive gap. It was Chicken Wings taking that steal.
And that's going to be the second dragon now for Valiant Winx. That's an additional 6% spell vamp and lifesteal for the side of Valiant Winx. They're going to be able to sustain these fights up a lot better. And you know, when you're ahead, you know, it's really tilting, you know, losing a objective that would have been free to just a smite steal. But really well played by Chicken Wings. For those of you who don't know, that is Nex, our resident LoL PC player from that Valiant LoL team who finished first place in the National Campus Open just recently. You know, a lot of these guys are actually pretty familiar. Kelvs as well, I believe, is also on the NCO champion team from Holy Angel University. So it's quite an interesting mix that they've got going on from this squad.
Oh yes, as they try to mix up different kinds of players coming in from LoL PC, you can still actually exert another entrance. Oh! Another burn from there on the side of Chicken Wings. They tried to get the Ari out of the map. Milen knew it coming, and she might be on the rush this time. So as they try to sneak up in the side, the jungle area of Valiant Winx, they might probably secure a kill here, but they might maybe focusing on the push and as well as the giving of the minions. And looking at the side of this game, Neep, and looking at this possibility, the items being built this time. We're entering the mid game, and Valiant Winx has this momentum in securing objectives and as well as skills. But for the goal lead, it's in the side of SULO. The games will probably turn, but for the building of the late game possibility, you have a Yasuo, you have an Orianna, you have a Corki, you have your perfect setup in that moment. But if you want to have everybody in a knockout party, you need to keep an eye out for Anito and as well as Flacco to set things up. You can have a disengage from Lee Sin, but it all depends on how will they be countered if Chicken Wings gets in for the first throw of that explosive cast.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess one of the saving graces for the hold that thought, as it looks like a team fight might break out.
Oh, bad knockback again, Flacco, but the engage again from Gragas. Let's dine and wine. This time, Chicken Wings with the last hit. Will it be enough? Oh, Spirit Rush coming in. Milan this time. And again, they're not going to be so sorry this time. Nobody prays this time with our Grand Challenge. Not going to be used in, but now for the burn this time around, it's being trapped in the zone. You have more kills in the side of SULO. That was unexpected outplay coming in the side of SULO. That's nice to do.
I mean, the Gragas didn't really need to force that, and great job punishing the sloppy execution with that engage. Let's take a look at what happened. We do see that it was just the gold deficit just really being apparent here. Even though Cool was able to get that really nice knock up, there was no follow-up afterwards, and he didn't really have the damage to finish it up on his own. So that was a 2-for-0 in favor of SULO that pushes their gold lead even further ahead. And again, if we take a look at where this gold is going to and where the difference is, it's pretty even across the map. There's roughly a 2,000 gold lead across every single lane of this game. And that's kind of the position you kind of want to be in when you're transitioning into this late game. There is a dragon up in 15 seconds, so we should see this gold lead again be much more evident if the Valiant Wing Squad decides to contest this dragon.
Oh, PNU, and you have Holy Angel to battle this third Drake. If Valiant Wings takes this, oh, another steal might come up. But for this, you need to get their smite ready as they want to jump in for this. And for this objective, you have the ocean, you have the mountain, you have the ocean Drake, and as well as this one for the mountain Drake for the taking. There are two objectives actually. You have the Rift Herald, or you might prioritizing this one. But for this, they might try to take and check of if it's worth the price for a clash, because if they get in a trap when the last time happened, they might be in trouble of having their points in.
Yeah, and explosive class on to Kaisa. Kaisa, was she able to get out? It looks like she was. She is taking a lot of damage, and she actually gets the GA pop. No, she's dead. Oh no, she's alive.
She's totally alive. This time she was splitting out in the top lane.
We were able to see what happened, but it looks like it was pretty exciting as the Braum and Kaisa have like 10 HP each.
Yes, last time it was the contest and the challenge of these one. But Milen on the last hit, blue team takes it for another kill, going great with the 4-10 as they try to have it raise. This time with taking on those minions. This is not over, PNU, because Valiant Wings is trying to get back up for their previous executions. But I think this is going to be a dragon for the take in the side of Valiant Wings, maybe PNU, because they're not totally prioritizing this now, Neep.
Yeah, they definitely aren't. And that's actually a really good comeback coming in from Valiant Wings. They were down so much, but they were still able to make a play. But it looks like PNU, they're immediately starting this Baron, and I think HAU has no idea that this is happening.
Oh, as early as this stage. They want to have early buffed up minions. They need to have that extra power in terms of pushing and destroying their towers. But I think they just probably took that scuttler to get their vision in, and probably Valiant Wings will be prioritizing by taking of the Baron, because they will need additional buff and as well as attributes this time. But while they are waiting for this moment, they might probably see the chance of taking this now or never this time. PNU.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like they were able to back away. They didn't fully commit to that, and the ball is still in SULO's court. They still have that advantage, but 4,000 gold lead at this point in game does not really say much, especially when you consider that the Lee Sin does drop off in terms of what he can do as the game progresses, and the Lee Sin opted to go for I kind of want to say an optimal build. He has a Sheen for whatever reason, going for a Triforce, and here's a team fight.
Again. Oh, again with the Glacial Fissure, again with the knock-up. They're still on the free. Last breathtaking. 4 cool, but now you're taken off the map as they try to secure this in. It's gonna be blue. It's gonna be red. Oh, the GA pop. And with the secure of that, you have PNU SULO. This is not normal, everybody. That was totally one outplayed game. Chicken Wings and Shino is gonna be on the last hit if ever they go to get in that fight.
Yeah, so A really close team fight, 2 for 2. No clear winner really as to what happened during that match, but it looks like it's still anyone's game, you know. Like no one really gained the advantage from that, but it looks like SULO, they are trying to get this dragon as fast as they can before the rest of the team shows up. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get it in time, as that Corki does have the package. The Gragas also does have that smite available. It's getting pretty close, but
Oh, he's getting close. The smite, no, he's just jumping too late, but he's gonna get in for the attack. No, just away. You're gonna go drink. No, I'm just gonna get this scuttler for our vision.
yeah, so that is gonna be the scuttle, and still a slight advantage to the SULO squad. I guess something that you do have to keep in mind is that the Lee Sin, is that the Corki no longer has the package for this Baron fight. You know, it was kind of wasted, and that's actually a huge cooldown that SULO needs to be aware of, and something that they can potentially exploit as they look towards this Baron once again.
Oh, if they want to have this on their side, 7 to 13, you know, we're heading in for the 20-minute mark sooner or later. But for this, you have Chicken Wings trying to pay on again. Flacco and Maze with the knock up there, and the bounce of the Fisher. Oh, they're then trying to get in. Shockwave in. Flacco is in the trap, but no, he's in for the escape and safety. But when is going for the Spirit Rush? No, he's not. Oh, but they're trying to take the turn. What is happening? They're trying to turn the tables this time, Chicken Wings. Oh, you're not getting in on my feather, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm in with my team right now because we're gonna take this Baron. We're gonna zone you out, but oh, don't underestimate the power of the blast because he has a smite ready and he might be jumping in this. Oh, Neep, what's gonna happen this time? The Baron is on the low health. Shockwave's not get through. It's been burnt. Blasphemy will it be in the jump. Sonic Wave is out. Will he steal it with the dash? No, he's totally out with the tornado. He's gonna be in for a chicken wing party. No, Anito out of the map with the Grand Challenge. You have Valiant Wings go in for that perfectly uncontested Baron play.
And I mean, what a great comeback. This actually just might be the end of the game. It's a 5v2 at the moment. They have that Baron and they're just going in it. They want that kill. And extremely impressive display, a performance coming in from Valiant Wings, as this is going to be the game 1 in their favor.
Oh.
GG, well played.
That was the take of the game, the Baron play, and that steal. He was caught up in the tornado of Yasuo. That was the perfect entrance of Blasphemy's Sonic Wave. That was a miscalculation of the timing because...
Yeah, and
go ahead.
no, go ahead. The thing I just want to see is I want to take a look at that gold graph actually from the game, because, you know, like PNU SULO was actually what, 8,000, 9,000 gold ahead. But Valiant Winx, they stayed vigilant. They maintained what they could. You know, they kept applying that pressure. They kept on going for those fights when they could. And eventually their team comp at the very end, at the Baron, kind of all came together, you know. The Gragas, the Orianna, followed up by that Yasuo, just ulting in, you know. It paid out. And as for the PNU side, I think something that they kind of failed to do was they failed to capitalize on the advantage that they had. You know, you had 8,000 gold. The game was basically yours, but you still kept trying to fight these 5v5s, even though you have that Fiora, even though you have a Lee Sin who had a Sheen and was building that Triforce, you know. So it's those small things, you know, that they just weren't able to execute, that they weren't able to do properly, which ultimately resulted in them losing that match, unfortunately.
Yes, and for the first part of the drafting, we were also in favor of SULO with their compositions, right? And we are looking forward on having them executed that, and maybe it's all in the timing, on all in the late game. Sorry, on the take of the early game advantage. You have seen the possibility right there on the first few minutes, right? And maybe that gave them an advantage in pursuing more objectives and as well as visit from the ganks. And Valiant Wings just took the opportunity using Fear. As you've mentioned, you saw the possibility of taking Fiora in. So I think we have your favorite girl right there on the Baron lane, which is Fiora. You got the burst of power and the dash. But guys, it's League of Legends Wild Rift. Anything can totally be in the other side. You know, with our 2 games of the day, who knows who might be in the next point. you can still cheer in for your squad for PNU and Holy Angel University in the live chat because they're gonna need much more support in taking the campus torch in our ROG University Alliance Cup featuring Wild Rift. Okay, so this won't be possible without our partner sponsors. Of course, guys, thank you for making this all possible. And thank you so much, Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor, ASUS ROG Phone 5, Logitech G, and as well as Riot Games and Twitch, our official platform partner. And if you want to be on the circle of alliance in competing for your school and for or organization, Neep has a good news for you.
Yeah, so we've got the AcadArena Alliance program. Alliance
Yes.
members get access to our exclusive tournaments, mentorship, event support, and of course access to that Globe Esports Merit Scholarship. So, that's a lot of crazy benefits, And if you want to learn more how to join the Alliance, check out acadarena.com/alliance, guys.
Oh, yes, guys. Don't forget to support your squad and make it as a hashtag in our Twitch comment section because this time around it's going to be your school representing the squad's name in Wild Rift. So, guys, from that game, Neep, they might probably change their strategy in terms of the drafting because we can't tell during that first stage if they can still execute it or not. As you've mentioned, it's all about the mindset and how will they properly unleash the skill set of these champions, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think something that the PNU squad is going to look to explore is they might opt to maybe not take the Fiora this time around, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
they'll opt to go for a more team fight oriented jungler. Maybe they'll
Oh,
go for the
yes.
Jarvan, maybe they'll go
Mm.
for the Vi, because I really do think that it was just a matter of them not really having a way to still stay relevant
Yes.
in the mid game, in the late game, and not capitalizing that 8,000 gold lead that they had at one point in time. And as
Ooh,
for
yes.
Holy Angel University, even though they did one, I'm sure that they're not really happy with how that game went either. No one wants to be at a point in time where they're playing from that big of a deficit.
Oh.
So Holy Angel University, Valiant Winks, they're also going to be looking to make some adjustments that they can as well to kind of make sure that they're not sweating the entire game, doing everything they can to make that comeback.
Oh yeah, probably right, probably right. And they might want to have it on their different composition. It all depends on the bands and as well as their priority picks. It will show, but if you prioritize what's needed and what will be the best counter for the first pick, that might be the best brew for your second game. For this, 2 points is needed to have yourselves in this group stage. And as we wait and see, it's going to be the battle of HAU or Holy Angel University and PNU SULO. Okay? 1-0 and you guys still have a chance to get your points in for this group stage.
Yeah, that is for sure. If Valiant Winks ends up winning this game, they are gonna walk away with 3 points for their group. And if it's PNU Sulo, if they're able to take this game, they'll be tying up the score, and both teams will be walking away with that 1 point each themselves.
Oh, yes. And looking at this point, no, they might probably see we would probably see the metas. The current metas in patch 2.2 mostly will fall on Fizz. I haven't seen Fizz for a while, and for one of the buff champions, you have Jax, Lulu, as well as Pantheon, and as well as Twisted Fate. Mostly, they would have an advantage in global response with the use of Destiny, but for our meta champions, it's still not going to be showing up soon, right?
Yeah, so we're definitely. I don't think we'll really see any of those champions that got buffed. Unfortunately, maybe Twisted Faith, maybe Pantheon, but I don't. I
Yes.
don't really see. I don't really see much opportunity for those other champions to sort of shine.
Mm.
I guess. I guess if there was some weird unconventional pick that I'd like to see is maybe a Rammus. Rammus would
Oh,
be fun.
yes. Oh,
The new
yes.
ultimate is just
Oh,
really
yeah.
satisfying to see.
Oh, yeah. It's not the
Yeah.
tremors anymore, right?
Yeah, he does that slam dunk as he's rolling in the ball.
Ooh. It's quite of different from the Ramos that we knew during the League of Legends, and this a different way of using his skills. Mostly as he initiates, he might be in the jungle, he might be as support, or maybe in the top, right? But what do you think? What would you use Ramos for on
Y-
your
y-
pro
Uh,
scene side?
I'd say it'd be a jungler. I guess
Right,
he's not as
much
fast.
better.
He's not as
Yes.
fast as other junglers, but that's really like the most reliable way that you can go about it and set things up.
Mm. And what's funny about this is his passive. He keeps on rolling around, and what it makes him much faster in terms of responding, and as well as going in for a huge or maybe unexpected ambushes from the brushes. But who knows? He might show up anytime soon with their composition, but he might be in a different state. But for our new champions, Kha'Zix, Rengar, and Renekton, one of the classic champions, and who knows who might show up. Well, if you were going to predict, Neep, who is your next champion who wants to be in Wild Rift? What's your next champion?
I'd like to see Morgana. Morgana and
Oh
Kale.
yes.
I think like they've been doing a lot of these rivalry events recently. Like they've
Mm-hmm.
been doing Renekton versus Nasus, Kha'Zix versus
Yes.
Rengar. So, I guess another good one that they could do is Morgana and Kale. And I personally
Mm.
just really like Morgana as a champion. I think having that black shield, in the game is actually gonna change up the meta quite a bit. So
Oh yes.
something that I'm really looking forward to because if we take a look at the champions as the supports that are in Wild Rift, you don't
Mm-hmm.
really have those skill shot initiators yet. There's no Thresh, there's no Nautilus, and then I guess Morgana kind of fits that sort of profile while
Mm-hmm.
kind of filling things out.
Oh, so if they decide for a different way of setting new champions in, it might be a different level of meta uses. And I'm also curious if Morgana shows up, and as well as Bard. Rather, it would be a good way. It would be a good support champion if he shows up. But for now, we will stick with new champions and classic champions rather to be exposed in a probably a pro scene scenario in League of Legends Wild Rift.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I think again we'll have a delay when that does end up happening because we do keep that adjustment period for the players
Mm-hmm.
whenever a new champion does come out. Y- Uh, Riot Games, they've been pushing out champions quite at a pretty fast pace.
Oh
We just had
yes.
Renekton come out like 3 days ago. Kha'Zix and Rengar just came out last week. So it's pretty exciting, seeing how each new champion kind of shakes things up. And it's kind of fun trying to figure out the game when you don't have that full list of 150 plus champions that already exist on like League of Legends PC.
Mm.
So it's pretty interesting to see, for sure.
Oh yes. And as we wait for our squad to fill in our drafting room, you guys might be interested in getting your gear on with our official tech gear partner for our ROG UAC. So shout outs to our Logitech G partner. So if you're looking for a supercharged way of making or taking your gaming experience set up to the next level with the hashtag keep playing, check out Logitech's amazing gear at logitech.acadarena.com or type exclamation point Logitech G in the chat for a 175 discount for a minimum purchase of 1750 for any purchase of Logitech G products. Peripherals wins games, right? Neep?
Yeah, they definitely do. Peripherals are what really make the difference. I guess when you're on mobile, the really the biggest thing that you can do is have that nicer phone, the
Oh
ROG
yes.
Phone 5.
Oh
But
yes.
I mean, when it comes to peripherals, for mobile, Logitech does have a pretty good pair of earphones. I believe they are the Logitech G333.
Oh
Is
right.
that correct? I'm trying to remember what the name of the really nice earphones are, but those are a thing that Logitech makes. Yeah, they are the G333. Check
Yes,
them
it
out,
is.
guys. And I believe the top two teams from the University Alliance Cup will also be walking away with their own
Oh
pair of
wow.
Logitech G333s. So
How
that's
sweet is that?
yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Pretty exciting prizes for these teams.
And speaking of prizes, it's 100,000 peso prize pool for all of the squads this time to win and have their title and the right to hold the campus torch. Who's going to be the best of the best? Well, in this stage, you will have to show different kinds of surprises in Wild Rift. And as we wait for our second game, it's Valiant Wings versus SULO. From Holy Angel University and Philippine Normal University, comment down in live chat and keep your support flowing as we wait for the voting time later. So for the 57%, right, Neep, it was on the side of SULO, right? From the first game?
Yeah, that is correct. 57% of the audience did believe that PNU SULO were going to be the ones that were going to come out on top and win the game. 54% looks like people have been adjusting their votes as we've been talking for the past few minutes or so.
Oh, yes.
So a few HAL fans coming in hot, increasing the vote percentage to 46%.
Mm-hmm. And
So
I think I think it will depend on how they compose themselves in prioritizing and banning some champions. But let's talk about a champion tier list for a patch 2.2C. For our S plus, Garen being in the top or the Baron lane, one of the S plus champions is Akali, Camille, Garen. For the jungle, we have Wukong maybe and
I
Camille as
mean,
well.
I guess that's been interesting to see the Wukong because I think if
Oh
we
yeah.
take a look at like Icon series, there isn't really
Oh
much.
yes.
There isn't really much Wukong going on. It's been a lot
Mm,
more of the Lee Sin, Vi,
right.
Jarvan sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But I'm glad teams are picking Wukong. Like
Oh
champion
yes.
diversity is great, and I'm glad teams are finding success with the Wukong as well. It seems to be working really well for these collegiate teams.
Oh yes, and for our support, I think Galio and Braum and Jana, one of the first champions that has been picked during our first games from Teletigers and for this game from the Holy Angel University. They have priority picks as well for Braum and Galio, but Galio would be still the best pick, but he is one of the prioritized bans. But nobody's taking him as a priority pick. But Braum still remains as a support for these squads.
Yeah, that is true, and I do think that Braum is really just the staple support. Some
Mm-hmm.
supports that we haven't really seen yet that I think are quite strong is the
Mm-hmm.
Lux support. Lux support, she has a. They did nerf the shield quite a bit, I guess, in the
Oh
most
yes.
recent patch, but
Mm-hmm.
prior to that, and I think even till now, she is a very oppressive support that light binding can just really ruin a
Oh
team's day
yes.
if you're able to catch them out, as well as providing a huge shield for the entire team. And then of course you've got a bit of extra damage with that ultimate as well. So Lux is another champion I'm kind of waiting to see.
Oh
Seraphine,
yes.
Seraphine I think as well. It was in a similar vein. Seraphine
Mm.
does provide a similar thing. Plus having that really strong ultimate on top, you can
Mm-hmm.
play Seraphine mid. You can play Seraphine support. Another great pick that the team so far have not yet utilized.
Oh yes, and Lux has been shown up. Hasn't shown up yet in one of our games of the day because, as you said, light binding, control of the final spark, and as well as you have your taunt and trap in terms of in taking duels in mid lane. So if you want to utilize those champions, priority picks are quite a bit different in our squads coming from Valiant Wings and Sulo for PNU. So they might prioritizing maybe their comfort picks or maybe their current previous metas. So for our S class, for the top lane, would you agree with Darius and Fiora for the S class?
S class for top lane, I'd say maybe Akali, maybe Gragas,
Mm.
Camille, Garen.
Oh yes.
And speaking of classes, I guess we'll find out what these teams value as we are now heading on to game
Oh
number
yes.
2 of
Yes,
Valiant Wings
guys.
versus PNU Sulo.
Oh yes. This time around, we need to spice things up. Oh, for the first ban, Gragas is out for the ban of PNU Sulo. Neat.
Yeah,
And for the follow up, you have Garen as well.
yeah. So the Gragas was, it's Gragas is just a really strong pick. You can play him in 3 positions.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's something that PNU Sulo, they're not really keen on picking up themselves, since they have banned it away. They've also banned away the Diana. Meanwhile,
Oh.
Garen was banned by Holy Angel University, so this does open up a lot of strong picks. Akali, Camille, probably going to be one of the first picks taken up by PNU Sulo, whereas for Valiant Winks, they can take the Fiora since they have banned away that Garen. Okay, yeah. So we do see that the Camille coming in from PNU SULO. So it's gonna be actually a Corki priority instead
Hmm.
from the side of Holy Angel University as well as that Fiora. Okay.
Oh, this time, this you have Fiora in the side of HAU, Neep, and they might probably want to be in the counter of full burst possibility. And for our in the side of PNU, you have Anito taking Camille, Blasphemy as Jarvan for and Milen as Alisar.
Yeah, and it looks like they have adjusted their strategy quite a bit. I guess PNU was like, oh, our team fighting comp our team fighting in our previous comp game one was terrible. We had
Mm-hmm.
a Fiora, we had a Lee Sin. So let's just draft a really aggressive team fight composition, and that's what they're doing so far. They have the Alistar, they have the Jarvan now, which is pretty strong, and it looks like we are gonna see the Ari once again coming in from Milan in that mid lane. Meanwhile, if we take a look at how the Holy Angel University team have kind of responded, they are starting to build up that four-man squad, assuming the
Oh.
Fiora is split pushing. Sorry, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
with that Corki, with the Oriana, and then with that Seraphine support now, as well as that Wukong.
Oh, this time you have mentioned earlier that you want to see Wukong. You have it now, buddy. And this time they have taken Seraphine. Maybe this will be a great advantage for Fiora. You need to have that encore, and she might need to get some high notes to get more kills in the side of Valiant Wings to take another score. But in the side of SULO, don't get me wrong, you have Kai'Sa, you have stacked up ability damage, and as well as support for Flak of using Alistar. Probably they're gonna get in for a good set and as well as rush for early game to mid game possibility, but for Anito as he controls the top lane, it's gonna be a duel against Fiora against Camille. What don't you think?
Yeah, so we are gonna see those duels coming in from the Fiora and the Camille. I'd say this is one of the more safer matchups that you can take against the Fiora, as it does end up being a bit of a skill matchup. Like there is room for the Camille to outplay Fiora,
Mm-hmm.
so that's definitely within the realm of possibility. As for what we will be seeing this game, in terms
Mm-hmm.
of taking a look at who's probably gonna come out on top when it comes to that 4v4 fight at that
Mm-hmm.
first dragon, I actually do think that Holy Angel University might be a bit better in this regard, just because they have that package and they've got some really game-changing ultimates in their arsenal as well. That Seraphine ult, the
Oh
Oriana
yes.
one, as well as the Wukong. It's just
Mm.
very strong. Makes the team fights very difficult for PNU to sort of get in.
I think they need a blasphemy to get the perfect calculation to have one setter out in the side of HAU. You have, as you've mentioned, Oriana, control of Wukong, the Cyclone. You have the Shockwave. Putting it up together, you need to have one member disabled for Fior to get in for a feeding frenzy. And for Z-Maze, Flaco as well, they have disabling power and as well as stacked up Icathian Rain, you have that killer instinct to be unleashed. And in terms of having it controlled in the bot lane, they might have a stronger counter. Kai'Sa against Corki, what do you think?
Yeah. I honestly think that Kai'Sa versus Corki.
Mm-hmm.
Corki is just a bit more stronger. In that first minute of the game, because if we take a look at how Corki itemizes, he gets that Triforce immediately. If we take a look at how Kai'Sa itemizes, she has to go for that BF sword first, then she has to go for like the executioners or that lifesteal stick, and then like she does this really weird build to kind of maximize her passive, the evolution. So that's not really possible. So just because of that, Corky does come out on top in this early game stage of the game.
Oh, yes, this time we are back for a second game, ladies and gentlemen. This time for the ROG University Alliance Cup. Make noise and support your school in the live comment section to get your heat with Valiant Wings versus SULO. As you wait and see if this game would not be possible with the power of our reigning king of gaming smartphones, the ASUS ROG 5. Get your squad in for another good game well played with longer battery and a powerful GPU. Let's head into the game. This is the fight of SULO versus Valiant Wings with overscore of 1-0. Let's get it on. HAU and PNU.
And yeah, HAU, they're coming in, trying to maintain that momentum that they picked up from game one.
Ooh, again with a knockdown, and the Bulls are still harder with the horns with the first take.
Wow.
Oh, knocking them out together, Blasphemy. On the Bull with the raging horns, my man. That was one early take.
That was so clean by that PNU team. Immediately hitting level 2, went for that Q flash, and Jarvan was there right on the wing to get that quick double kill. I mean, this Blasphemy, he's insane when it comes to these early game ganks. We saw that with that Lee Sin, and we're kind of seeing that again with his Jarvan. And with that puts PNU SULO at a really huge lead so early into a game. Just already 1,000 gold lead.
I am sensing they're gonna go up against another 1-1, but this chicken wing is gonna get in the frying party. Oh, 3 versus 1. Come on, too early. Valiant for the exchange. Oh, wait, Milan was going for the response there as they tried to take it then. For the secure of the tower is not going to be enough, but Chicken Wings has it in out. Oh, Ari is not safe. Neep, they have taken it together with a trade.
Yeah, and that's going to be, again, a trade in the top side. 2 for 2. The scoreboard is basically even. Ari tried to do the best that she could to compensate and help the team out, even though the Camille got tower dove, but in the end it actually resulted in her struggling as well and dying in the process. And now it's Valiant that actually has a gold lead because they've got that CS, they've been taking that time to farm, and they had a lot more assist gold throughout the team.
Oh, it's all about setting the pace on the early game. Cool is not being cool, but rather Anito is we're hotter this time. Oh, on this time, somebody's spraying around our river this time in the top or the top Baron lane, and this time for our take, Anito and Cool with a duel here. Ooh, trying to get in slowly. It's the battle of the long legs and with the longer sword in our early game stage.
Yeah, so again, it's now 40 seconds until the first dragon spawns. This is an Infernal Drake as well, so this is one of the more highly contested dragons that you don't really want to give up. You don't really want to lose because it's just way more valuable. This is something that has a lot more impact for the game. And let's see how things are going to pan out. In terms of gold, there's not really anyone yet that's close to completing their first main item. Corki is going to try to do the best he can to get that Trinity Force, but I honestly doubt he'll have that Trinity Force in time for this first dragon, so he's just going to recall, get the package, and both teams are just going to try to do whatever they can to make sure that they're the ones who get this Infernal Drake, they're the ones who win this fight.
Oh yes, as they try to build it, Fiora is already up with the Triforce, and you have also Kelv's building Lyandra's Torment. She needs to get that little spicy heat up damage as well as they set it properly with this. Oh, the Infernal Drake is ready. They're gonna breathe fire this time if they take it, but they wait a minute. It's J4 is trying to set this up in for the Catalyst Pit. No, they're inside. Blasphemy is inside, but no, they're trying to revive it with the GA, but still, they're still in the safe position. But nobody gets in. Oh, Blasphemy is up for the safety. Nobody's going down in the side of SULO.
Yeah, and a bit of a missed timing there for that GA. You know, that was pretty funny to see. We saw the Seraphine ult completely missed, followed by the Orianna ult immediately after. Good attempt to try to steal the dragon. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and you know, this is pretty funny to watch. We see that Seraphine ult, you know, a bit too early. Orianna ult a bit too early. And they still get the kill, but ooh, meanwhile, while that replay was going on, looks like SULO decided to fight back. They actually got 3 kills in favor of 1. And that's going to put them at the gold lead, even though they lost that previous dragon fight.
Oh yes, they want to secure another dragon, but this time, it's going to be in the side of Valiant Wings. Oh, you're going to get that wink, you know, and getting that Infernal Drake for added attributes and power. Oh, they're going to be going busy in terms of making their waves and destruction of towers. But in the side of SULO, on the items that you're gonna go for, Neep, what do you think?
Yeah, so taking a look at the items that they're gonna go for, SULO, Alistar is probably gonna go for maybe a. I want to say he'll go for like that Force of Nature or maybe that Dead Man's Plate. He's
Oh,
still quite
yes.
far off. The
Mm.
Kaisa is trying to do as much as she can to hit that Blade of the Rune King first big item power spike. Meanwhile, we do see that the Ari has already completed that Ludens. Triforce
Mm.
already up as well. So their items are pretty good. They're in a good spot to actually fight for this Rift Herald if they wanted to.
Oh,
And
yes.
if we take a look at the items on the side of Valiant Winx, they're
Mm-hmm.
not really there yet. Because we take a look at the Kaisa, we take a look at the Orianna, we take a look at the Corki. They haven't built that Triforce yet. He's about to buy it now. And the Orianna hasn't had the time to recall for that Ludens either.
Oh, they want to have the Rift Herald on their side as well for SULO. This time they need additional push and power. Come on, heat it up, everybody, because this time they're gonna contest this now. They're both preying on this right now, Neep, and only one who gets the sweet spot of breaking down their towers. But this time, look at the map.
Oh,
It's still. Oh,
We got a pick.
oh, Kome. Oh, being overextended in the jungle this time. What was he doing there? And looking at the possibility, that was totally isolated damage in the side of SULO. And for that miscalculation, I think they're going to secure this and being zoned out in the position of Valiant Wings. Trying to get in. Nobody's setting up the catalyst, but the airborne knockoff. Chicken Wings. No, no, no. Wait, the perfect setup of that shockwave. Oh, they're waiting for this moment. That was the perfect timing, but nobody followed with the engage. But this time, it's going to be turned around. The TPO channeling in this time. Oh, Valiant Wings for the proper miscalculation there for the follow-up. They're not gonna get in. They're not repeating the same mistake, but Flacco's waiting for the last hit, but not. It's been Charmshino on the troubled zone. Oh, that time around, that's 8-4 in the side of SULO.
Yeah, and I actually think that was still in favor of SULO, despite all that happened. That team fight was extremely long. There was a lot going on. Starts off with that perfect shockwave from Kells. However, they didn't really have any follow-up. The Corki doesn't really have
Yes.
much damage just yet. And we kind of see the HAU members just slowly file up. You know, the teleport comes in from Cool. Then afterwards, Komi eventually respawns and walks back, and she's able to contribute as well. So, in the end, I do think, even though they didn't get the Rift Herald, Valiant Winx, they were able to still get those fights. They were still able to get that XP. And we talked about XP in that previous game. Those kills when you're behind actually add up. It helps you come back into the game. And that's what Valiant Winx kind of want to do right now. You know, it's kind of similar deja vu sort of thing where Valiant Winx, they're doing a good job of still staying relevant. And this might bite SULO in the back when it comes to this late game. But we'll see in a bit as the dragon is now up. Corki does have the package, and a lot of these items have been built up.
Oh, he needs a perfect follow-up, man, this time. Oh, again, Chicken Wings with a low life with the hit of Flacco there. Oh, Kome on the other side of the backlines. They're trying to wait it in. Oh, for the kill, they get Chicken down. SULO has taken down one member out while trying to zone them in the Dragon Pit. They're trying to wait out and see. Oh, the shockwave there. Didn't get any partners for getting in that perfect set, but no, they're trying to retreat it back as the burn of that ultimate. They might have to wait for this time. But for Blasphemy, we're gonna take this Mountain Drake now or never for SULO.
Yeah, so this is going to be the first Mountain Drake for SULO, the first dragon of the game for them. And with that, they are in a pretty good position to kind of start taking towers, kind of start putting the pressure around the map, spreading out, getting what they can. But if we take a look at Valiant Winx, they're still in a pretty good position to still stay relevant. We did see that Chicken Wings did get caught out, get engaged by Flacco. That's a big damage coming down. And that's going to be
again.
a really fast kill onto Kome. I think he had no opportunity to respond whatsoever there.
No, they need to have the perfect follow-up this time. They need to spread their wings, you know. They need to have that response. They need to get their heat up because in the perfect set, Kells was totally on point in setting up with the shockwave, Neep. And only they need to have only thing they need to have is that perfect response because in the side the tables can still turn if Blasphemy responds with the perfect set, you know, slowing them all together. Anito's ultimate and still wait. And for this in the Baron,
Oh, we see Wukong. I think he might be caught out right now. This is Jarvan really deep into enemy territory, but okay,
again
they're
going
gonna walk
deep.
out.
Yeah, gonna walk out, being deep in the enemy line, staying cool and chill. Oh, this time they're trying to
But
wait.
look at the bot lane actually. Corgi might be dying to this Camille right now. He actually gets solo killed. And that's a huge kill for the side of PNU SULO. Their AD carry is now down. They are pushing every single side of the map, mid, top, bottom, all being pressured.
Oh,
And
yes.
this just gives a huge opportunity for PNU to make something happen.
Oh, Grand Challenge was activated with the response with the knockback out with the bulls with the horns. Oh, cool, going back out with the safety. Oh, it's been again a counterpart this time around in the brush. Oh, Flacco goes in for that control and the command. It's not going to be enough for Oriana to take it again, but no, the damage is still not enough to make it through that set again, Neep.
And while all of that was happening, we see Camille about to get that tower in that bottom lane.
Again.
Herald was popped in that mid lane, so that's going to be a huge gold swing in favor of SULO as
chicken wings. Chicken wings. On the other hand, is he gonna go for the safety with his mirror image? No, he's golden, frozen in time. Chicken wings will be the perfect time enough to have it. Oh, the flash out. He's gonna in for safety. That's gonna be 3 versus 1 with ignited health. Is we gonna safety? Is he alive? Is we gonna make it? Oh, he's gonna live to see another day. Wow, oh, no, that's not enough. Another kill taken down in the side of SULO.
Yeah, now we're at 8,000 gold for SULO, and this time around, we were at the 8,000 gold last game. SULO still lost, but this time around, SULO does have a better team composition to make advantage of this, to really extend this out and secure that victory. So Valiant, they're in a pretty rough spot at the moment. They need to try to find a way to get back in this game and stay relevant.
Oh yes, you need to get that response in, but for this Milan, oh, is he going for the rush? Is he going in? Cool, is still remaining his pace. Oh no, you have 3 members. Oh, make it a 4. It's a 4v1. Will he be ignited? Will he be flagged down? Oh, again, another kill takes in. Oh, he's a mad bull. He's totally a mad bull. Flacco goes in for that one.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the Baron actually now for PNU SULO. There's not much that they can do because Camille is still pressuring this base on that bottom side of the map. This inhibitor tower is slowly falling down. It's gonna be up to Chicken Wings to see what he can to steal this Baron away. But the Alistar is such a huge threat, zoning him away, and I think they just have to give it right now.
Absolutely, and this one, nobody's contesting this point, but the hand of Baron is in the side of PNU SULO as they clear out additional few minions and towers to be broken down. Valiant Wings needs to get enough time to burn this hand of Baron in order for them to get another clash inside this base.
Yeah, so they have that Baron now. All 5 members actually do have that Baron, which is huge. And this is going to be the next dragon. This is the Ocean Drake coming up. And there's not really much that Valiant Wings can do. Flacco playing this Alistar so well, getting these really crucial engages that are enabling the rest of his team to just make that gold advantage and make something happen.
Oh, inside enemy lines, nobody's taking the hit. Oh, with the bounce action with the hit of the high notes. Shockwave still with the dagger, having hit with the Chicken Wings, frozen in time now with a follow-up there. Oh, we are still going in for another kills, but Sheen on the other hand, Z-May is going in for the contest with the duel on the ignited health. He's just too bursted out for damage, reviving it out again for Kells. Ignited health not in for the safety. They are mad. PNU is totally mad.
Yeah, and that was just a great team fight coming in from PNU. They got the wombo combo they needed. They were able to win their individual 1v1 fights. We saw that Camille versus Fiora on one side, and we saw that Kaisa versus Corki on the other side. And this just might be the game right now, as that's all 5 members dead.
Oh, they're breaking it. They're breaking it. Philippine Normal University represents. SULO has taken the first score of our second match, Neep. What a game.
Yeah, what a crazy game indeed. And that's going to be our first tie of the ROG University Alliance Cup, which means both Valiant Wings and PNU SULO are going to walk away with 1 point each in Group B. And again, take a look at the scoreboard. We saw a lot of impressive performances. If I had to give an MVP, I think it's honestly Flacco. That guy had just some really crazy engages. Blasphemy as well. His early game ganks were also quite on point.
On point. Oh, totally on point right there, man. And if they might have